you. We like the NBA stars. Like the NBA stars. I hope you don't sweat. I hope you don't shit smell stinky. No.
Else you will probably be stinky.
I bath every day. This is good size. Woo, you're busy. Woo.
You guys are not gonna make shit.
Thank you.
那上一期跟大家一起看了台北展上最新款的外设实拍上手，而备受瞩目的WOOTING，那除了最新的80He他们所有创始人也都来到了现场。这么难得的机会，当然要把他们请过来做一个专访啦。那这也应该是WOOTING团队首次与我们中国玩家面对面的交流。大家先把牌面打在弹幕上好吗
Could you please say hi to our Chinese audience?
Okay. 好，你好，大家好，我叫Jeroen，我是WOOTING的 CEO。Hey, 你好，Sander, video guy making videos on YouTube.
Would you please introduce WOOTING and to our audience not familiar with it?
Okay, so WOOTING is a gaming keyboard company. Our most famous product is the 60He. Very focused on making the fastest and the best keyboard. Mostly focused on changing activation point and rapid trigger.
Yeah.
That's also what we'll talk about today, right?
Yeah, you're smart. You know I give you a Q&A. The first one is 60He is a banger, 很牛逼了. An upgraded version and 60He Plus is released just before. What's new or surprises you bring us on the 80He?
So with the 80He, we're very focused on we collected a lot of feedback from people from the 60He. And there are three main points we focus on. One is input speed, make it even faster. So we go to 8 kHz instead of 1 kHz for USB. The second one is the sound and the feel. So we have the gasket mount instead of the tray mount with the 60He. And the third one is rapid snappy. And rapid snappy is that which key you press more is the only one that is active. So it's like even if you press A and D at the same time, if you press D more, only D is active. So that's really, if you move back and forth in the shooter game, it gives you a lot more response.
Is it brings a revolution like rapid trigger?
We'll see, we'll see.
Upcoming question is that rapid trigger starts the innovation of the whole gaming keyboard.
Yeah.
It's just the Parker Tingle or the blink in your mind, or just you have a long time blueprint on it.
How we got to rapid trigger?
Yeah,
how we got the idea. Yeah. No, actually, we don't know. Because we've been making keyboards since 2015. And first we did a lot of analog movement stuff. And then we're just talking with people, we're talking in the company, we're talking with reviewers' feedback. And at one point, somebody somewhere said rapid trigger. And I don't remember where, I don't remember who, but it was somewhere in 2017 or 2018, I think.
So it's kind of coincidence.
Yes, it's very dynamic, yeah.
The third one is the magnetic switch has been abandoned for a long time because it's instability or damage in the shipping or anything. What pushed you bring it back to the game?
So I think this is a very good question because you really know your history, if you studied. And I think what we've kind of seen is that how it used to be is that magnetic switches were very clunky and very expensive and very unstable. And that's just because the sensors back in the day were just super expensive. And if you have a full-size keyboard or even 6He, you have 70 keys, you need 70 sensors. Yeah. So the keyboard becomes really expensive. But nowadays, the semiconductor manufacturing is so good and so efficient that you can make sensors that are really good, very accurate, and also affordable. So that's why now it's kind of making a comeback where it's okay, now we can make magnetic switches again and make them good and make them affordable. So rapid trigger will work with any keyboard that can do analog signals. So if you can measure how far down to press the key, you can do rapid trigger. But with the magnetic switches, at this moment, it's the best because it's just the most accurate and the most reliable. So optical switches, they can also be very good, but actually it's more difficult to get it very stable and very accurate.
Yeah,
so that's why at the moment, at least magnetic switches are the best.
60 and 80 are both top-tier gaming keyboard, but the prices they are around 170 or 20 bucks, and that's a little bit expensive for the budgeted players. Would there be an entry-level model to let more users to feel the rapid trigger, to try the rapid trigger, or buy a WOOTING?
We just think it's very important that we understand it's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money for a keyboard, but at least when you buy the keyboard, you know hey, the keyboard is really good. It's the best keyboard you can get, and also if I install the utility, it's a great software as well. So the keyboard firmware is very stable, it's very fast, and then if you have the utility, it's easy to use. I can change all these settings, and we just kind of want to offer that complete package, and just making all of that and making it really good to our standards that we think hey, this is WOOTING, this is what we are proud of. It's just expensive. And we tried many things to kind of maybe scrap some features, maybe go cheaper components. but it just didn't really feel right. And that's why, like, of course, like we want to make. Our goal is not to make the most expensive things.
Yeah.
Our goal is to make something that is really good, and then give it a very good price. But I must admit, it's a higher price now, but then we feel like that's worth it for the quality.
Yeah. Money rules everything.
That's true. Yes, exactly. That's very.
This will be our last question, and for our Chinese audience， 兄弟们，帮你们问，应该是我们最关心的一个问题了啊。WOOTING has a huge fan base in China.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we're very grateful.
Yeah. Considering the convenience and the shipping time, most of Chinese buyers they will buy it from the secondary dealers.
Yes.
But the secondary market is a chaos. Officially entering Chinese market will be the WOOTING future plan.
Yes, for sure. So we are really looking into how to enter the Chinese market, and yeah, you also understand, like, okay, for a company abroad it's quite difficult to do, but then we also don't really love the situation to resellers how it is now, because they cannot offer the service like we can, and they also make it just way too expensive. But to go into China and to sell ourselves, it's just a lot of work, because you need to set up a Chinese company and those kind of things. But we are like really looking into very seriously how to do it, because what we also want to do, and this is also how we do it anywhere else, is like we want to sell on our website, that you can order on our website. You get the WOOTING support, you get everything WOOTING. You can
full package.
Exactly, the full package and the full service, and that's also what we want to start offering in China. But it will take some time to get there. So we're very serious in working on it. But I hope that definitely this year we'll have something up and running. The warehouse in Hong Kong, yes, we're actively using it now. But then there's still like, I feel like there's also sort of a language barrier to cross as well. We also know that for people in China, they're not really used to going to our website and to buy. So we also want to make sure, like we're on Taobao, for example. But to have a WOOTING store, like an official WOOTING store on Taobao, we also need to have a company in China. But we all want to make sure, like, okay, we set it up properly, and then we just kind of like want to be where the customers think like, okay, this is for me, like where I want to buy the keyboard. So that could be Taobao, or maybe even like a very good reseller like Z-Frontier, for example. So it's a very good reputation for mechanical keyboards. And that's also the kind of parties that we want to work together with.
除了键盘，更抓我眼球的就是这套延迟测试装置。要知道，磁轴目前还没有很好的测试方法，而他们以 X-Lite 为基础，增加了机械臂触发器，而开发出了一套完整的、更贴近用户使用的测试方案。他们也表示会毫无保留，并且全力协助我们中国社区搭建相同的测试方案。在跟他们交流的过程中，也能明显感受到他们对自己的产品是非常自豪且自信的。那字里行间都能感受到他们对键盘以及产品本身外溢的热情，并且毫不吝啬的跟玩家交流以及分享经验，可以说是不忘初心。从玩家社区成长起来的品牌，能够坚持站在玩家的角度带来满意的作品，以及谦虚诚恳的态度去回馈社区，我发自内心给WOOTING最大的 respect。
谢谢，再见。